Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ben, and in this episode of the Smoking Hot Confessions Barbecue podcast, we're talking to a man who's as well known for his parties at barbecue competitions as he is for the barbecue itself. Hey family, hope you're well wherever you are and you got that thin blue smoke rolling. Now in today's episode, we're kicking things off for 2021 with a interview that we recorded with Bretto from Flamin Mongrels at Mongrels HQ just about a week or so ago. So it was really great to be out there, and we're going to talk a bit more about that in a minute. First of all, I've just got some announcements that I need to run by you. The first is that we'd like to welcome our latest podcast partner, Heatbeads. They've been in the barbecue scene in Australia for over 50 years now. They've got a huge range of products. My personal favourite is the lump charcoal, and we're going to hear a bit more about Heatbeads later on. The second thing, if you're just at the start of your journey, come on over to smokinghotconfessions.com. We've got a perfect little ebook for you. It's the beginner's guide to real barbecue. Just head on over to smokinghotconfessions.com, have a bit of a look around. A pop-up window is going to appear. Put your details into that, and we'll shoot it straight out to your inbox for you. The next one is come over and join us at the Smoking Hot Confessions barbecue community at Facebook. It is one of the nicest places on the internet to be. All we do is just talk about barbecue. All the other guff is left at the door. So come over and join us. It's a really cool place to be. And of course, if you're watching this video on YouTube, do give us a thumbs up, a subscribe, and hit that little notification bell. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure you give this video a like and a share, and follow us as well to make sure you get notified next time we go up. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, do take a couple of seconds, give us a 5-star rating and review, because that is super helpful for us. Right, so as I said at the top of the show, we got Bretto from Flamin Mongrels joining us. Or technically, I should say I was joining him as I was able to go out to Mongrel HQ. And I've got to tell you what, I got shed envy. Man, that guy has a fantastic shed on his property there, full of barbecue stuff. And it was really cool to be out there. Now, Bretto first appeared on the show way back when the show first started in episode 10 of season 1, all the way back in 2017. So if you want to grab Bretto's backstory and how the Flamin Mongrels came to be, go back and check that out. That's episode 10. And it's also a great episode if you're looking at getting some sponsorship for your barbecue team or some other ideas that you might have. So that's probably all that you want to hear out of me about Bretto. Let's go out to Mongrel HQ and see what's going on.
This is the internationally awarded Smoking Hot Confessions Barbecue Podcast with your host, Ben Arnott. How long's it been since your last confession?
So, Bretto, my friend, welcome to the confessional. It's great to have you. Oh, well, actually, you're having me. I'm here in Mongrel HQ,
mate. It's been a long time since you and I have sat down for a podcast. I think when I was way back in the start of things.
It was actually. I've got some notes here. It was back in season 1. You were episode 10 in 2017.
Wow, obviously one of the very highest downloaded episodes of all time. I'm hoping you know.
It is actually.
I was only joking. I'm only joking.
No, it is actually that first series, that Comp Ready series where we went through all the different steps for competitive barbecue teams. That has been like probably the most successful run of episodes.
Yeah, brilliant. You had some great information there, mate. So
yeah, it all sort of worked out well.
Yeah, brilliant, mate. Well, happy to have you here. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. So, mate, what was the last thing that you barbecued?
Oh, mate, it was a wok.
A wok?
Yeah, okay. So it wasn't actually, the last thing I put on the barbecue was a wok. The last thing I barbecued to eat was some salmon. So at Christmas time, I wanted to have a go at salmon again. I'm really average. It was for catering, and we had some customers that wanted some fish, and I was nervous, and I'm not really superb at fish. So I've been practicing with my salmon, but when the salmon had finished, I've been hanging out to get this new wok that I've got seasoned. So I've had some tips on with oil. I've had some tips with salt. So to be honest, the last thing I actually put over some charcoal was a spun steel, maybe 45 centimeter wok. It's pretty big. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice one. Yeah. So just explain a little bit about the seasoning with the salt and the oil. What's that about?
Well, I've got two different trains of thoughts here, and I've looked at a couple of YouTube videos and got some advice from friends. The first was, of course, it's a little bit different to cast iron the spun steel. So I've went with the salt option. I basically just dumped a crap load of salt into the bottom of this wok. But it's funny. And I'm like, what is this actually going to do, you know? But I watched it, and as you burn the salt into the steel, it quite noticeably changes, obviously, the look of the steel, the feel of the steel once it was done. So I didn't have quite enough charcoals left after the end of the cook to complete the process. So it's at the back of the house now, waiting for part 2. But it looks like so far it's working. So
okay, well that's kind of interesting because usually sort of salt, we don't tend to like salt on metal, do we?
Well, considering I'd left it so long in the first place that there are a couple of rust spots that I need to work on, you're right, salt and corrosion and that type of thing. But yeah, it is a sort of a contradiction, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned that you're into barbecuing seafood at the moment. What's your favourite seafood and how do you like to go about it?
Mate, seafood, I wouldn't call it a nemesis, right? But I'm definitely not a seafood expert and learning a lot as I go. I think I've just recently put up an Instagram post saying I'm keen to cook more seafood this year. And I think it's because like a little bit of me says, hey, you're not getting any younger and you need to eat some healthy foods and this, that and the other. And I do eat a lot of barbecue meat. So I'm thinking, okay, so my wife definitely loves seafood, would like me to cook more seafood. I see Instagram accounts like Irene from Come Grill With Me who just makes seafood cooking look so simple.
Yeah.
And it should be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to maybe having a sticky beak at some of the things she's done. Scallops are definitely high on the list. My wife loves scallops. And we'll see how it goes. I'm keen to try a few things. For the kids, one daughter fish, one daughter not fish, one daughter prawns, one daughter not prawns. But maybe we can sort of mash it all together at some, not exactly mash it because mashed seafood would be rubbish, but
fish cakes.
Well, or what is it? Seafood extender.
Oh, there you go.
I'm not cooking any seafood extender. But
I can't believe it's not seafood.
Pardon me?
Like a little container that says, I can't believe it's not seafood.
Yes, that type of thing, which I'm sure exists in the supermarket somewhere. What is it? Plant-based seafood or something to that effect.
Like that. Anyway, yeah.
So I am learning a bit more. I'm interested in learning whitefish, the salmon, the oily fishes. Not so much. I'm not a big oyster guy. I know some people are doing oysters here and there. But whitefish, whatever I can sort of maybe just increase my seafood intake a little bit, you know?
Got to get those omega-3s, mate.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Yeah. So you mentioned before that, you know, where age is starting to catch up with us both a little bit. We're both needing to watch what we're eating a little bit. But you're quite well known for partying at barbecue competitions. So tell us about the best barbecue competition party that you've been to.
Mate, I am an old bloke. There's no doubt about that. You made jumped around the issue a little bit there. You're right, but I am an old bloke, and all of our guys on our team, we are dads, you know, with kids. We are getting into that age group now. Our reputation as the Flamin Mongrels, you know, we've been around for a little while, you know, and we got a little bit of a reputation, and we still have a little bit of a reputation for a good party. I think mostly we're learning to be a little bit more responsible these days. So whether it be, you know, mid-strength beers or you know, 2 shooters instead of 4 or something to that effect, we're trying. But look, in the early days, we enjoyed the party atmosphere of barbecue comps. There's no doubt about that. Absolutely no doubt about it. So back at the second ever Port Mac, in the days of the Mile High Porkers.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they used to have a party at the end of the competition that was ticketed, and they would print tickets and give people tickets. I mean, everybody, but then you would go to their site and they would have their because they were a team from the airport or the flight industry.
That's right. Yeah, they're like airport security guys or something.
And
I think.
The ground handlers and all that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So they used to bring a row of airplane seats that they'd knocked off from somewhere.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
So they had a row of airplane seats, and then they had slushy machines and disco balls, and that sort of started it, you know. And then the year after that, we took our big bar the Buffalo Trace bar,
the pallet bar,
bar to Port Mac. And there's probably no doubt that that's got a bit of history and legendary status amongst a few people. We've been shut down. We've been turned off. We've been started up again. We've been, talked about here and there. It was probably one of the biggest parties. Look, there's a couple of times maybe at Manning Valley where Kettle Club and a few crew would get together and we'd sling a few pizzas out of the uni, drink a few beers. Look, even the likes of, say, pre-meat stock parties.
Yep.
So meat stock in Melbourne. Well, in fact, the first ever meat stock in Sydney that Jay put on had a pre-function that Wes catered for.
Okay.
And that's where actually we got introduced to a lot of our sponsors very early in the days. But then the pre-party for meat stocks continued to be a tradition. And then Andrew would put them on at the Q Club in Melbourne. And you can imagine Andrew Kavanagh, the Melbourne crew, everyone arriving in Melbourne. Look, they were pretty epic as well. But we are enjoying ourselves a little bit. I don't want to say enjoying ourselves less, but we're trying to be a little bit more responsible these days. Try and stick by the rules of the promoters, which is important. Respect for our neighbours and respect for those sorts of things. That's what we're aiming for these days. We still like a beer. There is no doubt about that.
Yeah, fantastic. I love that pallet bar that you guys have built up. That's so cool.
It's still is it around somewhere? It's still in use.
Yeah.
It hasn't fared well in the weather over the years.
Okay.
But I still now use a miniature version both at comps and at catering. So I pop up 3 of the pallets at the front and just to give it a little bit of feel and,
nice.
It's still around, but it's still, the lot is still behind the shed. Yeah. It's still out there. I had been given permission to set it up at the back of the house.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, don't know. It's not really weatherproof or anything like that.
Yeah.
Which, anyway, we'll see. Hasn't quite lived its life yet.
Fair enough.
You may see it again.
Still got a few barbecue comps left in it.
A few beers in it.
Nice. Now, I went to Hogs for the Cause in New Orleans in 2019, and I saw some incredible team setups there. They're like scaffolded, multi-level, almost like mini castles, and the teams cook and compete in there, and they do ticketed events and that sort of stuff. Are we going to see the Flamin Mongrels comp site go multi-story?
It's been threatened. So even after the first Port Mac where we had the pallet bar, we did talk about how we'd love to go up a level because we saw I don't particularly know was it Mary Valley Hogs? No, that's the name of a barbecue team.
Hogs for the Cause.
Hogs for the Cause.
The competition in New Orleans.
Right.
Yep.
I haven't particularly seen that one, but I know and I'm trying to think of the one by the river. Can't quite remember the name of it. Nonetheless, not Houston, not
Memphis in May.
May, sir. That's the one. So I think they do the same sort of thing. Scaffolding, multi-level, huge. And we looked into some local scaffolders at Port Mac. We talked to Jay about what would be required for him to tick it off to say, yes, you can do that.
Yeah.
And mate, to be honest, Jay was basically saying, hey, get an engineer to sign off on the safety to say that, 12, 15, 18 people can stand on this structure and you can bring it.
Cool.
But, we'd probably need, hey, sponsors, I'm looking at you. We'd probably need a big sponsor to pay for it. So you want to get your name up high at a barbecue competition, which nobody's done yet.
No.
Nobody's done second level. So maybe.
Literally next level stuff.
Next level.
Smooth, very smooth. So you've had a couple of roster changes over the last few years, and I was looking through your socials, and I saw that you had an annual general meeting pick, and it was the 4 original horsemen back together again. So are you getting the band back together?
The Flamin Mongrels has never disbanded.
Okay.
Ever. We are 4 OGs. And have never, not once, the only reason we are not together at a comp or otherwise is parent duties, geographical location, or maybe financial. But it's a situation where the 4 of us are bloody good mates. So Chriso, Alan, Adrian, and me.
Yep.
The Flamin Mongrels are the four of us together. Always have been. And I saw this not get discussed, but it came up, and like, we're so proud of the fact that we are the same four guys that we started off with, that we will continue to move forward with. We have no plans to disband or anything like that. In fact, as most guys around the traps know, we have our ring-ins that turn up regularly. So my brother Cameron, Nathan the Chicken Man, we call him, and Fran the bartender. So Fran used to bartend at the Port Mac for us.
Okay,
when we were busy pretending to cook barbecue, he would look after the bar for a little while. But we pretty much welcome anyone. If you want to come cook with us, have a chat. You know, we're definitely, four of us. We're not going anywhere. You know.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, usually under like sort of pressure situations, like a competition cook, you will see people sort of come together and then in sort of under that pressure sort of split apart. What do you think has sort of kept you guys together for so long?
Oh, don't get me wrong. Alan and I have come to blows. You know, I think one time it must have been Port Mac. It was a big comp. I don't know where it was, but we were up late and we're on the grog and all the stuff. And our major sponsor, like Heat Beads, had all their important overseas bigwigs there, and they were in our tent.
Oh no!
And we were drinking bourbon and all the stuff. And me and Al are like, we're at each other going, no, we're going to do it this way. And because, mate, look, as much as I know the teams who are really bloody amazing have a playbook, our playbook is non-existent, man. Do you know what I mean? At 11:37 p.m. Pre-comp night, we'll have a look in the drawer to see what rubs are available for the beef. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we pretty much all go, righto, here's what we've got available. Hey, guys, what are we going to choose today? Bang, bang, bang. We like that. But and of course, I've forgotten the original question, but Alan and I get along so well that, of course, we're going to have sort of, you know,
moments
together where Alan says, I'll go and sleep. Well, I say to Alan, I'm going to sleep somewhere else.
Oh, right.
Yeah, doghouse almost, you know. What was the original question? I've forgotten.
Just what do you think it is that's kept the four of you together for so long when so many other teams kind of come together and go apart? And
yeah, look, I think we are just good mates. We haven't really done anything other than just party together, cook barbecue together. You know, I want to say sleep together, but look, at the end of the day, we camp together.
Yeah.
You know, we go away and have a good time. And we're not in each other's pockets the whole time. Good mates works for me.
Fair enough, man. Sounds awesome. Now, just switching tack here a little bit, there's a giant smoker over here behind the camera. Mongrels have moved into catering. What was that journey like?
It's been interesting.
Interesting.
So catering, like COVID, I guess. So my regular everyday business hasn't survived extremely well due to COVID. I'm in the events industry.
Yeah.
And I have had to postpone events and move things to different times of this year. Well, this year now. So looking for alternative income to keep my family afloat.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the AGM and said to the boys, hey, boys, I'm considering doing some catering. Is it okay if I use our name? Are you okay if I promote that using our social media? And are you okay if I make money out of that? And they're like, Bretto, go for it, mate. So that's sort of why it came about. I think even prior to that, it was someone asked me, could I do a job? And I'm like, yeah, I probably could. Do I want to? I don't know. But I think I got excited enough. So the first job I did was for West Coast Fever netball team. So no mucking about. I got asked to cook for a national sporting team.
Wow.
I couldn't say no.
No.
So, and I got to pretty much dictate the terms. So
Nice.
I said, this is what I'll do. This is how you'll get it. This is what I'll, and it was bloody fantastic.
Nice.
So it was an offsite job. Of course, the team was in a some sort of bubble. When I say some sort of bubble, they weren't as tight that they wouldn't allow other visitors, but yet they were in a lockdown in a hotel in Brisbane.
Okay,
so all of the netball,
it's a COVID bubble that you're talking about.
a COVID bubble type thing.
Okay.
Sorry, and they were all of the netball teams. Well, quite a few of the netball teams were locked down in Brisbane. They were in a hotel. They were required to cook for themselves a lot, like almost every night. So over I think 60, 90 days or something they were there. They only had 2 team dinners and one of them was with me. So the girls were pretty excited just not having to, cook dinner for themselves.
Yeah.
But it sort of went off a treat. And then the ball started rolling. So I posted a few pictures of these barbecue boxes. So I'm pretty sure I got some inspiration. I said, I want to recreate this barbecue box for the West Coast Fever netball team. And then when I got close, not saying I created it perfectly, but it was my first gig, and I'm looking to find packaging and make it look nice and all this sort of stuff. And I posted the pictures on social media, and lo and behold, hey, dear Flamin Mongrels, can you? And
nice.
Yeah. So it sort of got the ball rolling. That's sort of how it came about. Again, the next one was a bit weird. So my wife is at my kid's dentist.
Okay.
Sorry, my kid's orthodontist.
Yep.
And previously I had been at the orthodontist and I saw that the orthodontist is known for wearing outrageous socks.
Okay.
I noticed one day that he was wearing hamburger socks. So pictures of hamburgers on his socks.
Yep.
And I said to him, today is International Hamburger Day. Perhaps he already knew that. Chances are high.
Okay.
Right. And he goes, what do you know about hamburgers? And I do this and, I love a barbecue. And then we started talking about what's in the perfect patty and, how do you, this, that, and the other. Lo and behold, sort of 6 months later, my wife's at the orthodontist with my kids. And this orthodontist comes up to my wife and says, I need to talk to your husband about, and he paused and my wife said, photo booths. And the orthodontist said, no, cooking barbecue for us. And my wife was like, here we go again. And so he pulled out his little voice recorder memo, take note, get a hold of Brett from the Flamin Mongrels to organise barbecue catering for our event night. About 9.5 minutes later, I get an email saying, hey, Brett, it's the orthodontist personal assistant here. We'd love for you to do something for our barbecue night. Next thing you know, 90 packs, beef ribs, chicken, pork with barbecue demonstrations, gathering crowds, what the Flamin Mongrels are good at, we are good at.
Working a crowd, yeah.
Working a crowd. And it went great. I had some helpers. A couple of the boys came along. We set up, this massive barbecue trailer that Grant from Oakey Reserve was lucky enough to lend me. Of course, they are the Angus Reserve barbecue crew. I think this year, I won't let any cats out of the bag. We'll let him tell you later. But he was lucky enough to lend me the trailer, which is just a dream to cook on.
Yeah?
Mate, it is an absolute dream. Like I said, I've never really I've got a radar sitting right there. Don't get me wrong, right? And I've seen all these massive pits and I'm like, it's not really us, and I've never really wanted to cut. But all my gear fits in it. I've got a ute, so I can put all the extra bits and bobs on the back of the ute. Yep. When it comes to just ergonomics of that trailer, it just feels good. Sometimes you see guys at comps and they're sort of leaning and they're twisting and all this sort of stuff. And I think it's just a cracker. So twice my wife has looked me in the eyes and said, did you buy that trailer?
Are you sure that was a loan?
and I said, darling, as much as I'd love to, I would like that trailer, but I have not bought this trailer. But if anyone has, maybe, don't let my wife hear this, if anyone has a big radar on a trailer, maybe with a warming cabinet, I don't know. I might be in the market.
I think Nico Russ from down in
Scotch and
Sydney,
Smoke.
from Scotch and Smoke, he either has sold or is in the process of selling his big radar.
I'll look him up.
Yeah.
I'm not desperate and I'm not super keen. I don't need to have one. Well, do we need to have any more barbecues? Ben?
Yeah, well, there's always room for one more.
Like a massive trailer.
Yeah.
But anyway, and catering is sort of just, it's moved on from there. So I'm not looking to it for an income replacement, but if anyone knows me, I side hustle a lot. I've always got something on the go. I don't tend to have one side hustle, and catering is currently one of my side hustles.
Yeah, sure. So I'm curious about you. You mentioned that you got your 20-inch radar here, and what's that, a 24 double door on a trailer there?
Maybe 30, but yeah.
Maybe 30, okay.
Don't know.
Yeah, so you said that they're very different to cook on, but they're the same sort of basic principle of design. So why do you think they are so different to cook on?
No, not different.
Oh, okay.
Definitely not. Love our radar, cooks perfectly. In fact, some of the traits of the smaller version are easily seen in and replicated on the larger version.
All right, sorry,
absolutely.
I misunderstood.
I was more saying I've seen other trailers that might not be Radar Hill, whether they be homemade or other manufacturers.
Yep.
And of course, I've never really cooked on anyone else's trailer pit before. Grant and Ash and the crew have lent us this trailer before.
Yep.
We've cooked on it before, but I've never really used anyone else's trailer. I might be completely wrong, but I sort of. Oh, I lie. I think we used Tim from Brisbane. Can't quite remember the name of his crew. We borrowed a hog pit trailer to cook whole hog at Bangalow one year. It was good. Not dissing other pits.
Tim Reese?
Tim Reese.
Yep.
Possibly Tim Reese.
Yep.
We borrowed one of his trailers, and it was. They're good. I just loved, the arm was height. The arm right was height. I could reach the back of the smoker. The fire pit, the fire box was just easy to use. The tray that comes out from the front, didn't make me lean as far as I needed to, but it was at the right height. Just all of the things that I just felt were, maybe I will buy this smoker. Grant. He won't sell it to me though.
No?
Nah, I've already asked.
Fair enough, yeah. We mentioned as we're getting older earlier, and I do see some people with these big smokers and they're having to like double jerk the door open, like jerk it up and then jerk it back. It doesn't sort of glide and smooth. And all I can think is, oh, my back. I wouldn't be able to move after a weekend of doing that.
Mate, I absolutely agree. And I know, there's a few guys making pits now that I've just got my eyes on that I think fantastic. Have a look at those. I think there's Shay, there's the hog pits. What's Shay's mob? Stockyard, Shay. There's the hogs pits, Bullockhead Creek. There's still some cracking guys.
Yeah.
And of course, is it Thrasey just knocking out 1,000 billion gallon
monsters, absolute monsters. Yeah.
Just like it's nothing. Like, I might have chicken wings for lunch. I'm just going to knock up a 2 billion gallon offset smoker for afternoon tea. He loves it. What he's saying, I love his saying. It is bite off more than you can chew and just keep chewing.
Chew like crazy.
Crazy. That's it.
Yeah.
So I definitely like that attitude.
Barbecue. It's all about family. And a huge part of the barbecue family is heat beads. In fact, they've been fueling Australian family barbecues for over 50 years. So there's a very good chance that your kids, you, your parents, and your grandparents have all eaten delicious meals lovingly cooked over heat beads. One of their most popular lines is their hardwood lump charcoal. It's 100% natural, chemical-free, and the lumps are large and consistently sized, giving you a reliable burn every time. It burns hot and is low ash, making it not only perfect for backyard cooks, but also commercial cooking units. So grab your favorite grill, your secret recipe, a bag of heat beads, and your nearest and dearest, and make some delicious, lifelong memories.
Got a project you'd like to work on with the SHC team? Shoot Ben an email on ben@smokinghotconfessions.com, and let's have a conversation.
Alrighty, now there is one thing that I do have to bring up, and that is I can see that you've got a big drum smoker here, and on the socials, I can see that you're part of the insane can posse and all this sort of stuff here. What's the question that I wrote here was, please tell me that your radar's okay. I can see she's okay, so I'm relieved. So tell us about the move into Gateway Drums.
Okay, so maybe it's getting back to being old bastards again. It's not on a trailer. We do have to, get it in a trailer along with our well-known, like our workbench. They're bloody heavy. We still take, and we still love our radar. There's no doubt about it. Drums, the Gateway drums, we are a fan. I'm a fan. I think they cook superbly. I think for competition, Alan purchased one. The team has one. If we could possibly get 2 more and take 4 drums to do a 4 or 5 category comp cook, I'd be okay with that. Don't get me wrong. Again, offset smoker, cracking barbecue, long cooks, up all night, suited me a while ago. Still cooking on one for catering and good cooks, but the drums are just something special, I reckon. I really do. Yeah.
Are you able to explain a bit more about what makes them special? Is it just that you can cook so hot and get so much more sleep?
And they're light. I can transport them. And I don't have a trailer yet.
Oh, that's a little sponsor wink again there.
So I love a trailer, and maybe a trailer will change my mind. They cook well. There's no doubt about that. The Insane Can Posse, I'm pretty sure is a Facebook group by the manufacturers of the Gateway drum.
Gateway, I think, yeah.
Yeah, the boys out of the US that came over. Anyway, and there's plenty of love on there for the Gateway. I've learnt how to use them pretty well now, I think. I've got a few different styles. Alan and I and Adrian have been chatting, and Chris, even still, we chat about different setups, whether we're doing half covers or baffle plates, or whether we're hanging, or whether we're, rotating or turning and burning, or, and the Super Can Master, Barky Mateman, aka Mark Bateman, he gave us, some good pointers on them as well. But yeah, she's a beauty. I quite like them. It lives currently at the back of the house. It is It's on regular rotation for home cooking too.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And so, what's your favourite thing to cook in it?
Beef ribs. So after doing the catering job for 90 packs for beef ribs, check out the pic on Insta. It's pretty epic.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
I never really bought beef ribs before. Like, my family doesn't eat a lot of barbecue, so to buy a 6-pin, rack of beef ribs from the butcher, maybe $60, maybe $80.
Yeah.
For me to have one rib out of it and then cryovac the rest, or try and keep the rest, maybe. But so I didn't cook them very often. But now I'm kind of happy to. And after that event, I had I bought more than I needed in case, because of course 90 packs, you're unsure, and cooking and hot spots and whatnot. And I had a pack left over, and Alan and I went camping down Pottsville at the start of school holidays, and we took the drum and sat it on the edge of the river of a campsite, and we smashed up some
nice.
some beef ribs in about 3.5, 4 hours.
Yeah,
I love them. It's a favourite. Speaking of backyard cooking, just got myself a big green egg.
Oh, okay.
So, oh man, never had one, never had a ceramic cooker, always knew that they were a great cooker. Played a few times, cooked with Andrew Kavanagh's down in Melbourne. Always when I travel to Melbourne, Andrew and Pam would always invite me to their house. There's a big green egg sitting on their back patio, and, we would just cook dinner in a flash. Picked it up off Marketplace for a ridiculously cheap amount of money.
Nice.
Please don't ask me how much. People will get angry.
Oh, okay, that good.
Yeah, really good. And I'm yet to cook with it. But I needed my neighbour to help me get it off the ute.
Yeah.
They're a heavy bit of kit. It's 17 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. From what I can understand, and again, not a big green egg expert. The handle is a little different to the current model, and I think now it's called. There's a deflector plate that comes now with them that doesn't exist with this model. So I may have to again talk to the Q Club and see if we can. But
see if they're backwards compatible.
Yeah, to see if that's a thing. But either way, I'll again join another Facebook group.
Yeah,
which is look, Ben. That's a bloody good point. Buy a kettle. Join the Weber Kettle Club Facebook page.
Absolutely.
Buy a Kamado. Get on to Matty Harris's Kamado page.
Yep.
That was in there was a very recent episode with Matt.
2 episodes ago. Yeah.
Right. So Matty's episode, and I listen. In fact, I bought the Big Green Egg after I listened to Matty.
Oh, there you go.
And I even text Matty and said, mate, I've just listened to your episode. It was bloody fantastic. And then all of a sudden, I'm a Kamado owner. And I text him and go, mate, I've joined. Can you please bloody approve? I want to read some stuff, So, yeah. But that's it. If you're buying a cooker that you're unsure of what to do with, mate, there's going to be a Facebook page. God damn it, there's a Facebook page for pie makers, for Christ's sake. There's definitely a Facebook page for every single cooker made.
Mate, have you seen the
I know what you're going to say.
For the $85 jumbo spit?
Straight away. It's going nuts.
It's gone crazy. There's like 30,000 people in there now.
Mate, I'm going to go buy one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I've got rotisseries left, right and centre. I've got them for the kettle. I've got them for this, that and the other. But I think I want to have a go on this $85. Is it the $85?
Jumbuck Bunnings.
That's the one.
Spit rotisserie.
Yeah.
Or something
You got to
like that,
give yourself a name, and you got to call yourself the Spitmaster or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a cracking Facebook page.
Yeah. It's really good. Yeah, and it's administered really well.
I think they're doing a good job.
The growth has been phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, again, the good Facebook pages like yours and the ones that encourage those people to learn, encourage people to post their cooks, and don't get me wrong, if you've got 40,000 people standing in a crowd in public, then 10 of them are going to be
Yeah.
right? So if you've got 40,000 people in a Facebook group, unfortunately, there's going to be more than 10 idiots.
Yeah.
Because, they're hiding. But so be it. They have administered it well. There's some really good Facebook pages that do it well, and it's definitely one of them.
Yeah, definitely. No doubt about that at all. Speaking of social media and Facebook and all that sort of stuff, I saw a post from the Mongrels calling for a food scientist. What's happening? Are you guys working on some Mongrels rubs?
No, I just need a new friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just thought I'd really like a new friend this year.
Ad than anything else?
It was a personal. It was. Mate, I'd like to become friends with a food scientist. I heard they're really great people. I'll neither confirm nor deny these questions.
Okay. All right. Well,
no, I won't let you move on. I will let you move on. No, I won't let you move on. Don't know yet. There's been talk. What happens is we get on the beers, we have AGM meetings.
That's one of those, you know what we should do?
Exactly. So just considering options. That's about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. So, alrighty then. One of the things that I did have down here to talk about is the first time that we actually met was you stuck your head into my cook tent at the Burleigh Barbecue Competition 2015. You told me that you loved the website and to keep it up, which was great because I didn't think anyone was reading it at the time.
You mean the award-winning website, Ben?
It is now. It was not then.
Right.
It was definitely not then.
Yep.
And then 2016, you came by and you told me that I should start a podcast, which was an idea that had already been kicking around, and that's worked out well. So what do you think I should be looking at in 2021?
Oh, shivers, I'm not a bloody soothsayer.
You are.
Ben, your successes are your successes. Agreed, all of the things that we have talked about in the past, they're already on your mind. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I'm living my life precariously through you and going, shit, I should have started a website. Shit, I should have started a podcast. I love listening to your podcast. I go off it for a while and then I binge listen and I smash through 10 episodes in one hit. And every time I think to myself, I don't know why I stopped listening to this. It's good gear. What should I tell you to do? Not catering. Don't do catering.
So there's not enough room for two of us here on the Gold Coast?
Oh, not saying that at all. Mate, everyone knows it's hard work.
Yeah,
it is absolutely hard work.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, Ben, I don't know what I can tell you to do. Smoke Fire Media Services going well?
Meat and Fire Media Services going well, yep.
If I can...
Yep. Meat and Fire Media Services.
Meat and Fire Media Services. Do people know that's you? I know people know that it's you.
I'm pretty sure they know it's me.
All right, nice one. Well, that's going well.
It is,
Stick
yeah,
with
yeah.
that. No, I don't know what else to tell you to do, Ben. Grow your beard longer. Yeah, that's definitely a good thing.
Mate, I tell you what, I had to take an emergency trip to the barber because something popped up like Friday. We need to do this on Saturday, and I couldn't get in to see my regular barber. So
Hang on. Emergency and barber definitely don't belong in the same sentence. Go ahead. Go on.
Yes, they do. And so I said, okay. And I rushed out to the nearest barber just around the corner because I couldn't get an appointment to see my guy. And he just hacked it to bits. Like it was.
Does he know the significance of your beard?
He does now.
He bloody well should.
He does now.
That is. So what did you have to do? Did you have to go to a wedding or something fancy? Or
Oh no, it was something to do with the jiu-jitsu club.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
it was having photographs taken for the club and all this sort of stuff. And I was.
And what you couldn't see your kneecap, for example. Your beard was so long. Or?
The beard was just wild. The mustache was down. Like I was
Not a self groomer.
Not really.
Okay.
Just because it's so easy to sort of be looking in the mirror and go and
Wrong
just
way.
cut a chunk.
Gotcha. I wouldn't know.
Yeah. And no, I was at the point where I was having to eat with a napkin all the time because I'd go
Sweet.
and then like wipe my face and then eat some more and wipe my face again.
Don't get me wrong. I want that.
Yeah. And so no, I just had to go and just get that taken care of. And also with hair like mine, if you can see the growth pattern.
Gotcha.
Any longer than about that long, and it just looks ridiculous. So I had to get that all taken care of as well.
Mate, you can't trust those guys with the scissors. Well, you got to trust the guy with the scissors, haven't you?
Well, I told him to do like a cutthroat razor job on it. So that was an exercise in trust. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Here's an idea, something that I've been working on, and you can tell me what you think of it.
Okay.
So right now we've got 2 cameras set up. We've got the audio. Everything's being done separately. I got to go home. I got to manually put it all together. Just last night, I was down in Robina Town Centre, accidentally bought one of the brand new M1 MacBook Pros. Accidentally bought.
Really?
Yeah.
I want one bad.
Yeah. And what that's going to let me do now is it's going to let me hook multiple cameras into it, and I can sit the laptop on here and I can manually switch camera to camera, and then I can preload my little video jingles and the cutaways and all that sort of stuff. And so I can manually sit here and sort of live edit the show. We're going to have live streaming capabilities into the Smoking Hot Confessions barbecue community on Facebook.
Yes.
People's Facebook comments will appear as questions on the live stream feed. So we can be sitting here talking and,
Jono from Jono Land.
Jono from Jono Land wants to ask Bretto.
What shoe size do you have, sir?
Something like that. Yeah.
Large.
Yeah.
That's bloody amazing. So I'd say, does it mean that you have to do less editing? So if this podcast was done, you would be finished the podcast, go home and upload, done. Post?
I would. The only post would be if we made mistakes.
Okay.
So sometimes when I get flustered, I get tongue-tied. I got to cut that out.
Cool.
That sort of stuff.
Okay.
But it should take it from about 5 hours editing per episode to maybe 30 minutes.
Do it. I say do it. What about this, Ben? I just thought of something while you were talking. What about, with the amount of podcasting happening, what about a mobile or rentable podcasting setup?
Check out the Meat and Fire website.
So have I let a little cat out of the bag there?
No.
Okay.
No.
Righto.
No,
Cool.
that's one of the services that we offer.
Brilliant.
We can like all this gear that we're using here. Like you've seen me. It packs into the cases there, and we can go around and set it up. And
cool. Oh, because what I thought about it was even at like the town centre. So let's say, they have the pop-ups in the big shopping centres.
Yep.
And they're trying to sell you all the stuff that they're trying to sell you. Maybe you could, I don't know, have a pop-up podcast that you can book a spot and then all glassed in and people could come and watch people record podcast. I don't know. It was just an idea. There you go.
Yeah.
There's my hot idea for the day.
Nice.
You're listening to the internationally awarded Smoking Hot Confessions podcast with massive barbecue nerd Ben Arnott.
Alrighty, so now we're in the third segment, and this is our lesson time for the viewers and the listeners. So tell me, what wisdom are you going to share with us today?
Ben, what I am is a good competition barbecue cook. What I am not is a spectacular caterer, but what I'm learning to be is a better caterer than I am at the start. So my tip, my lesson today, I guess, is about tips for catering from 8 people to 800 people.
Nice.
Okay. So we've all catered for the family. 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, sometimes 6, I don't know, people. And you kind of just wing it. But you've got an idea in your head about how you want it to look and how you want it to turn out and how you're going to prepare. But, if you're going to consider doing, a larger family group or even considering getting a catering. So the 800 was, just quickly, Grant from Oakey Reserve Meat Abattoir Works out in Oakey, west of Toowoomba in Queensland, invited me out to cook for the staff of the abattoir of the Oakey Meat Works.
Yep. 800
staff.
800 staff.
And he's like, Bretto, mate, we just need to do 800 burgers. You be right with that?
Sure.
No worries, Grant. Piece of cake.
If you can make one burger, you can make 800, can't you?
Well, this is the tips for today, right? So it does, you can move from 4 to 40 to 400 if you plan. So I've got a few hot tips and I've written down some notes. The most important thing is get it out of your head and get it onto a piece of paper. So write a plan, okay? The plan will include a couple of things, all right? Write the menu. Again, get it out of your head, write it down. List every item that's either going to be on the plate, on the platter, on the table, wherever. Write them all down. Once you've written that menu, write down the shopping list of the things you need to buy for that menu. Again, don't think of it in your head. Don't go to the shops and go, shivers, I think I need that. Write everything down on a list. So far we've created 2 lists, the menu and the shopping list.
Yep.
The third list I want you to write down is what I need to make. So for catering, I make my own coleslaw dressing.
Oh, nice.
Right, absolutely. So it's just there's nice and there's good.
Yeah.
And this is a really good coleslaw dressing. But every time, I know I have to make it, but I write it down. Make coleslaw dressing. Make Alabama white sauce. Make the broccoli salad. Do you know, I have to, and then, so then I can tick off, and those things, a lot of those things can be done well early. So we're going to go, now we've written all the things down, we want to talk about timing.
Timing.
Okay. So we all know that brisket can take a long time, whether you're cooking in a drum. It can take a long time if you're cooking in an offset or a Weber, but it can take a short amount of time. But however long it takes, just allow way more. Don't jump on the Facebook page and go and say, how long is my brisket going to take? When should I start cooking? Allow even 5 or 6 hours or the day before if you're catering for a bunch of people, and prepare. Okay. If you want to reheat, you can easily reheat a brisket in 3 hours, no problem. Right. When you're preparing the things that you need to make, then think about how long those things take to actually serve. Now, I learnt this from barbecue competition because, of course, we have a 10-minute window in which we need to enter
the hand-in boxes.
Right.
Yep.
God damn, that 10-minute not only arrives in a blink of an eye.
It's gone even faster.
And you end up racing, right? Yeah. So you've got 10 minutes to enter. But you'll be surprised how long it takes to physically cut a brisket or slice one whole rack of ribs into 10 pieces.
And then arranging it attractively in the box.
Whether it be on the box or the grazing platter or in the customer's plate. So if you have 40 people to cook for, or even 12, if it takes you 1 minute to serve up everybody and you've only got 12 people for lunch, it's going to take you 12 minutes. What's going to get cold in 12 minutes? What's not going to get cold in 12 minutes? What should I put on the plate first? What shall I leave to the end? Those are the types of things that you want to try and remember. The last one I've got, I said I know that you want to... It's something that I've never really been into is, they call them mood boards. I'm not a mood board guy.
Mood boards.
Sometimes when people decide, I think the interior designers and the architects, they go, I want my bathroom to look, and they'll put up 3 different types of tiles and 2 different...
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
It's not a mood board, but I want you to either draw with a pen and pencil or find an example online of the plate that you want to present to people. Where exactly in the box is the burger going to sit?
Mm.
If you're going to serve sauce, are you just going to squeeze it into the bottom of the either the cardboard box or the plate, or are you going to find a little ramekin to put it in?
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to serve coleslaw, how wet is that coleslaw? Is it going to
run?
Is it going to run?
Yeah.
Maybe decide to change your recipe based on that. So draw the plate, see what it looks like on, in front of your eyes instead of just in your head. And these are some of the things that, have made a difference and have made my catering guests, my clients, a little bit of that wow factor. In the other industry that I work in, we always sort of say there's all these newcomers that are trying to do their best to enter the industry, and as in any industry, we encourage new people to join and excel and improve, and it's better for the entire industry. So hopefully, newcomers like me to the barbecue catering, because I do barbecue catering.
Yep.
Quick side note, I just got a request for.
Please tell me it's high tea.
No, it's not, but it's near enough. So it's a regular function. I think there's 45 guests, but they want 6 portions of American barbecue food with no gluten, no dairy, wait for it, no onion, wait for it, no garlic.
So it's an IBS support group.
Something to that effect. I will come up with a plan.
Don't ask me how I know that.
I won't ask. I'm going to come up with a plan. I will find a solution. But, of course, these are the sorts of things you now have to consider when you're doing on-site catering. There will be requirements from guests. Be prepared for them. Yeah.
There was a podcast episode that I did a couple of years ago with a lady from South Australia. She specialises in FODMAP barbecue recipes.
It came up in my searching.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not her, but this FODMAP business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will start, I've started to prepare. Look, at the end of the day, she's asked for 6 portions. It's obviously difficult to make 6 portions of brisket, for example, but I'll just use salt and pepper. And how's
6 portions going to go around 45 people?
The 39 other portions have no dietary requirements.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All righty.
So anyway, there's my tips. Catering from 8 to 800. It is possible. Plan. Right. Don't stop having it in your head and put it down on paper.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Well, look, that's probably a good point for us to start sort of wrapping all this up today. So I'm going to turn it over to you. Give some shout outs to who you'd like to give some thanks and some praise to, and tell everybody where they can follow the Flamin Mongrels on the social medias.
Cheers, Benny. Mate, as always, thanks to you for coming down to my shed to have a chat. Appreciate what you do. Been listening to podcasts forever. Thanks a bunch. I want to, of course, the guys, Alan, Adrian, Chriso, and the other Flamin Mongrels. Mate, we can't do it without any of those guys. We are a team, and that's how we roll. Social media, it's pretty hard to miss us. Flamin Mongrels on all of the things. Leave out the G, no G. What else? FlaminMongrels.com. I don't know. You'll find us. It's not hard. Again, we can't do anything we do without our sponsors, so we want to thank Heat Beads. We want to thank the Q Club. We want to thank Super Butcher. I got their Black Market T-shirt on today.
There you go.
We want to thank our good friends from Buffalo Trace and Fireball Whiskey. Who else have we got? Brad King helps us out here and there. There's a bunch of stuff, but all the guys that help us out, we want to say thanks. We bloody love cooking barbecue, you know.
And, of course, your lovely, lovely wife who's going to surprise you with this big trailer here for your Christmas present.
I think she's got
2021.
I think she's got some cash under the pillow that she was intending to use to buy me a barbecue.
Oh, there you go.
No, probably not.
Well, that's lovely, man. Look, thanks very much for your time, and thanks for coming on board the show again.
Mate, loved it. Thanks. Chat soon.
And there you have it, family. That was Bretto from Flamin Mongrels from Mongrel HQ. How cool is that guy? Absolutely awesome. It was great to have his hospitality and to have me out at his base of operations there. So as we close out the show, I just want to say once again, thanks to Heat Beads for jumping on board as our podcast partner. Do check them out. Grab a bag of their lump charcoal. It's my personal favorite. Head on over to SmokingHotConfessions.com. Grab your free ebook. Jump onto Facebook, Smoking Hot Confessions Barbecue Community. I'll see you in there. It's the best barbecue group on Facebook, in my humble opinion. And if you are watching this on YouTube, do remember to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. On YouTube, give us a like and a comment and a share, and do follow us as well. Instagram, it's the hearts and the follows. And of course, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, do give us a 5-star rating and review. Super helpful and really help us spread the word about the show. And that's all the time we have for today. So, until next time, take care of each other and keep on queuing.
Thanks for listening to the Smoking Hot Confessions podcast. Head on over to smokinghotconfessions.com for recipes, tips, and Ben's own confessions.